BBC Radio Newcastle.
Now, are you trying to lose weight? TV presenter Anne Diamond has struggled with her weight for many years, but she's now had weight loss surgery and she says it's working. So much so that she's coming to Newcastle to tell people about it. Well, Anne, or at least what's left of her, is on the line now. Hello, Anne.
I like that, what's left of me. Hi.
Hi, good afternoons. So have you always had a weight problem then, Anne?
No, not really. I think it happened with, motherhood, frankly. I'll blame it on me kids. I had 5 babies, and your lifestyle changes, I think. And I think maybe there's a little gene inside me that was sort of always wanting to have its own way and decided to. And I don't know, somehow fat happened to me. That's why I called my website fathappens.com, because it's for people like me, really, to whom fat has happened. And I'm not saying we're totally blameless. Of course, it must mean that we've eaten the wrong things or too much of things and not done enough exercise. But frankly, I know a lot of thin people who don't do much exercise and eat nothing but crisps and chips. And, we're all different. To some of us, fat happens. To others, they get away with it.
Can I ask you that? It's a bit of a personal question then, but when you're talking about, you were having a weight problem, what kind of size are we talking about here? You're not going to tell me that you ballooned up to a size 10 or something ridiculous.
Ballooned, darling, no. The day I, in the end, went and decided to opt for weight loss surgery, and I was weighed at the clinic in Belgium, I was 99 kilos. Now that is 15 stone 10.
Oh, right. Yeah,
yes, that's big.
That is pretty impressive.
It's big. I tell you what that is. It's what they call morbidly obese. It's on the brink of losing your health. I think that, that's what motivated me. OK, vanity is one thing, and, having the papers poke fun at you is another. But I'd got to the point where I was also worried about my health, and I looked in the faces of my children, and I thought, I want to be there for them. And I tried everything. That's the other thing, is you don't go for surgery as a first option. I had tried everything. I'd wasted nearly all of my 40s yo-yo dieting, and that in itself is unhealthy. Every time I lost weight, I put on more again. And I was just facing, going into my 50s and 60s, becoming a fat old lady, and I did not want that. I also wanted more years ahead.
Now, you're talking now about your first operation then to try and lose weight. This was the one in Belgium, and this was one that came out during the time in Celebrity Fit Club. You basically said it didn't work. Yeah,
well, that's why I went on to Celebrity Fit Club in the end, because the gastric band operation that I'd had in Belgium wasn't working. It didn't work. No, I could not understand it. I'd even been back to the surgeon in Belgium. We could not make it work. I couldn't make it work. So I gave up on it. I just thought, well, this is a gadget that I bought that's stupid and irrelevant. And so when Celebrity Fit Club came along, I went on Celebrity Fit Club thinking that would be the only way I'd lose weight. Public humiliation. I got the public humiliation. I didn't get an awful lot of the weight loss. One good thing that did happen, though, out of the furore that followed, was that I got a phone call from a lovely lady called Donna Ross, who herself has lost 7 stones with a gastric band, and she now runs a company which offers gastric band operations to people here in the UK. And she said, look, it should be working. We've been talking about you and we can't figure out why yours isn't working. Would you like to come along, meet one of our experts, and we'll try and figure it out? So they x-rayed me, and that showed up why it wasn't working. It had been put in the wrong place.
Oh, dear.
Now you start to see why I've got a story to tell.
Okay.
Not just to make it interesting, but to serve as a warning to others.
Now, the person who discovered all of this and eventually fitted another gastric band and made it work is sitting next to you, I think, Mr. Shaw Summers, your surgeon. Hello, Shaw, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So tell us then about this gastric band. It sounds like some sort of medieval torture. What is it? How does it work?
Well, it's one of the options that overweight people can use to help gain control of their eating habits and lose weight. It's an operation, which is never the first resort, but it's a fairly straightforward keyhole operation where we put an inflatable rubber ring around the top of the stomach, and that should enable people to feel full more quickly and teach them to eat more slowly and chew properly, which for the majority of people helps do the trick.
Now, from what you're saying then, it makes you feel full quicker, but at the same time, presumably what it doesn't do is operate on that little bit in your brain that says, oh,
exactly.
I just need another cream bun or whatever.
It doesn't choose the food for you, and it doesn't tell you what you should be doing. So you've got to work with it and you've got to understand it. And part of the reason why Anne was struggling so much is that she went and bought a band from a surgeon who just put it in, and then she came home again, and she had none of the coaching, none of the information or the support to help her make it work. added to the fact that it wasn't done particularly well, so that when I came to reoperate and put the band in the correct place, actually round the stomach, it all clicked into place for Anne.
And it's now working. Now,
well, so it works a treat once it's in the right place. Yeah. And you do need the constant support and aftercare, you really do.
Is this a real problem, though? Are you still basically an eater, and you still want to go out and have, I don't know if you've got a particular weakness, but you still wanted to go out and eat cream buns and so on, but you physically can't now?
Well, that's an interesting question. And do you know, I'm not even interested in the answer, because it doesn't matter anymore. I think that's it. The constant years of looking inwards and thinking, oh, is this all my fault? Oh, my goodness, what have I done to myself? This is like a self-inflicted injury. I think the answer is probably yes. If you took my gastric band away, I would probably in the end fall back on my old ways, whatever they were that led to me being obese. I have learned to eat differently, and I eat an awful lot more healthily, but I never ate unhealthily. I mean, this is why I campaign against the way society and the media sort of call us all couch potatoes and talk about us all as though we all stuff crisps and chips all the time. I've never done that, and I'm not lazy. You couldn't come across much more hard-working person than me. Well, maybe a few, but you know. The point is that the great thing is it's like a little friend that's always there, just making sure you never overdo it. And of course, day after day after day after day, it adds up into weight loss, which is just fantastic.
And are you having to exercise? Are you having to exercise as well?
Well, I think. Well, I don't know about having to. I mean, I do, because I don't want to get an awful lot of flabby skin. And the more you exercise, and the more slowly you lose the weight, your body sort of readjusts better. So I am doing some exercise and trying to tone up. I'm fitter than I've ever been, probably. But I'm not overdoing it. I didn't want a life where you had to live in the gym in order to be slim. And I don't live in the gym now, but I do some exercise, yes.
What weight have you come down to, then? Can I ask that?
No, I'm not. Do you know, I haven't stood on the scales for probably about a month and a half. I don't anymore. I think that's a tyranny. The point is that I know I am about 4 stones lighter. I'm certainly 5 dress sizes slimmer.
I can't believe it. I'm asking you. Last week I was talking to Edwina Curry about her breasts, and now I'm talking to you about
You have
her weight.
no shame. And do you know, I can't think of a little thing that you could put in your brain to give you any. So I can't help you.
I don't know, maybe your surgeon will come up with something. Now listen, Anne, you're coming up to Newcastle then very soon to talk about your weight loss. Where can people come and find you then?
Well, I don't know yet, because we've had such a tremendous response that we're having to find new venues all over the country. We are coming to Newcastle, but I can't tell you exactly where yet. The best way is to keep in tune with us on fathappens.com, where you'll be able to read my story and all the mistakes I made and hopefully learn from me. You'll also get lots of links to lots of advice, but you'll get the dates as and when I know them.
And finally, what is your message, Anne, for people this afternoon who are struggling to lose weight and, to be honest, probably couldn't afford to pay privately for the kind of operation that you have?
Well, I ought to add that it's not just a private operation. It is available on the National Health Service in certain parts of the country. It depends where you live. Don't know about Newcastle. But I think what I'd like to say is just that, look, it's not a matter of fault. Don't blame yourself, because that won't help you. There are constructive ways to lose weight. Go on to Fat Happens. There are lots of different ways. One of them is surgery, and if you're interested in surgery, then I've got the facts on that for you. But there are facts of lots of other ways to lose weight on Fat Happens. There's also a community of people who will buddy with you and help you. You can't do it on your own. You need to be loved and supported by others, and you'll get that on Fat Happens, and you'll get the advice and the help you need.
All right, well, have a look. Thank you for talking to us this afternoon, and to Shaw as well. Just a reminder again of Anne's website. It's fathappens.com.